All right, today in LFP, we're going to be looking at Maru's tank drop opener versus Oliveira in TvT. This was performed at IEM Katowice just recently, so it's still in the current patch. It's a very strong opener in TvT if you would like to play aggressive and get some damage done. And again, this is an opener. In this game, Maru does kill Oliveira with it, but it's not really supposed to. And so we're going to be looking at a little bit about how Maru controls his units to get the most out of them, and what he's doing at home, and ways we can follow up with this after we kill or after we deal a significant amount of damage to our opponent. So interesting. The build order start is very normal. We have our first SCV going to make the supply depot, then the barracks. As soon as the barracks drops, we get 75 minerals and we drop this refinery. Then on our next SCV, we're going to grab the second gas. So all pretty much you're going to go for a standard 1-1-1 opening. You're going to get your factory before you get your command center. We're going to saturate this guy fully. And the interesting thing too, what I like to do is, as soon as I drop this one, I'll send out my SCV scout. Maru opts to send his next builded worker, which is also good. You can do that too. I just think it's easier to remember for myself. All right, this went down. Let's send out my scout. We're just going to go up here, check right here, and then come right back, because this guy, by the time he goes across the map, checks what our enemy has, walks all the way back, we'll have exactly 400 minerals to build our command center. So that's a nice thing. We're going to fully saturate both of our gases. And then we're going to build a Reaper first. So like I said, very standard opening. As soon as we have that 100 gas, we're actually going to pull a worker to go make our factory. So I think he pulls at like 80 SPN. Let's see. 90? Okay, so he pulls about 90. And here's the interesting thing too. Because he SCV scouted, he's actually pulling 2 off one gas and then 1 off of another gas. An easy way to do that is you pull 1 off each gas, and then you use one of the gas guys to make the factory. And so there, the factory goes down, and our next point of business is actually going to be that command center and a reactor on our barracks. This supply depot appears a really good spotter. This is good for Dragon Scale specifically, or any map that has like a larger base that Reapers can get to. Something like Neo Humanity has a weird jump in. It's good to make sure you have vision of that. And you don't want it too close, because otherwise then you can just shoot it from the low ground. If you're not going to wall it off, that is. All right, so we are fully saturated here. Our SCV is back from his scouting mission. He drops the command center. Our reactor went down on our barracks, and we're going to start producing a couple Hellions from this factory. And now we're just going to resaturate that gas, because we have 16 workers here. We don't need to pull anything else from it. As long as they're saturated on our mineral field, we're pretty happy. Starting up 2 more Reapers. Now, if we actually go to Maru's point of view, we could see this is everything. Whoops. Press the wrong buttons. This is everything Maru scouted. He sent his SCV across the map. He saw, okay, barracks, 2 supply depots, so he's going the same build I am pretty much. He's going to go for a 1-1-1. He's going to get his second command center. It should be starting about the exact same time as ours. However, Oliveira also did a scout. He did an SCV scout, and he hasn't sent anything out. He's just being cautious with his Reaper. He did open a reactor first, I believe, though. So. Or he opened 2 Reapers and then reactor. So we got our Hellion. We're going to produce a second Hellion, and we're going to start our starport at the same time. And then we're going to go ahead and take another quick pause. We're going to check our 3-minute benchmark, because I think 3 minutes is a really key part. I think the first 3 minutes of the game, if you get this down perfectly, you're looking good. And then it's like the first 3 minutes you do a benchmark, 5 minutes you do a benchmark, 7 minutes you do a benchmark, and then 9 and then 11. So like every 2 minutes, you're kind of checking yourself against like a professional player or on a replay level. Because, you know, every game is different. there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong, you know, micro mistakes, or you just get pushed, or you're getting cheesed or something. So it's good to have these benchmarks to see, like, okay, what's normal? Where am I at in terms, like, if I'm playing a normal macro game, how did I compare? So at this 3-minute benchmark, we see on Maru's side, we got 1 Reaper, 1 Hellion. Our second command center is about halfway done. Our starport just went down. Our second Hellion's on the way. Reaper 2 and 3 are on the way. We're fully saturated at our main base. We have 16 workers on minerals. We have 3 on each gas. We have 2 supply depots. We should probably build a second one here in a second. But so far, so good. So easy little benchmark to compare yourself to. How many Reapers do I have? How many Hellions do I have? Are my buildings at the same place as Maru at this time? And then, so after our second Reaper, and after our second and third Reaper, and after our second Hellion, we go into marine production. We start our tech lab on our factory, and yeah, we're still making SCVs. We are not cutting SCVs in this build. Like I said, this build isn't an all-in. This build is just a lot of early game damage. There we go. We did get a little supply blocked for half a second there, but our siege tank is on the way. We don't build a an add-on for our starport. We start the medevac immediately. Now we have 4 Marines right here. So what we're gonna do, we have a good kind of force. We're gonna just scout around really quickly with our mobile guys. Just make sure there's nothing weird going on, and we're gonna send 2 of these guys across the map. Because the medevac only has 8 slots, a tank takes up 4. So, you know what? We want to attack with everything. So, as soon as the medevac spawns, the tank should also be finishing about the same time. We have 4 Marines. We're going to load up everybody. Everybody goes in this medevac. We pushed across with our 2 Marines. We have our mobile force that we didn't lose. We were never hyper aggressive. We never poked up here on this ramp and lost units. And so we're just going to go straight across the map now with our drop. At home behind this, we're starting the tech lab on our starport because we want to get some Ravens out. We're getting a Cyclone for defense. We're pumping out more Marines. We're getting our 3rd gas, and we are just making sure we can saturate this natural expansion. Let's go ahead and check in. So you can come up here really quickly. We're not pushing super hard in case he has like a forward tank or a tank up here in a really weird position. But we're waiting for that medevac to give us some high ground vision. All right, so he sees it, but you know what? We're going to drop anyway. And we're just going to elevator all of our units up into his main base, and we're just going to try to push him down. As long as we got this siege tank in a good spot and we're not taking damage, we're going to focus down this tech lab, because the add-ons are very important. Without add-ons, especially tech labs, you can't build siege tanks. You can't build siege tanks. You can't build Ravens. You can't build Banshees, which is something that could be potentially dangerous, but On tech labs on barracks, you can't build stim or combat shield if our opponent was going for that. And then Oliveira pushes into Maru, and we are taking a lot of damage, but our tank has been in position longer. This tank just sieged up and is about to start shooting at us, but our main goal is trying to kill the Cyclone, this Raven, and the siege tank. So Maru, he has a good split on his units actually, and is able to surround the tank and take it down pretty easily, especially with our tank being in position. And look at that, we're going straight for this SCV line. We're going to try to kill these tech labs. And then back at home, by the way, we have barracks. We're making units. We're starting our Raven. We have our siege tank. Our Cyclone did go across the map. We are rallying across the map, and we're just going to try to push up into here. I think he loses this. Yep. Don't do that. That's not good. But look how much damage he's done. If we just go to the income, let's see, income tab, we have double our opponent's income right now. Like, we have fully saturated. This is getting saturated. We could probably start our next gas soon. We could probably drop 2 more barracks. Yeah, we're kind of chilling right now. So you just have a huge advantage. And Maru is just going to he's going to pick up. He's like, all right, these guys are probably dead, but I'm going to go meet up with my reinforcements. Oh, just kidding. Maru sees this is the only tank. He knows this is the only tank from Oliveira, and it's not sieged. And if it is sieged, it's going to be sieged down here to stop any forward aggression. He doesn't expect this move. So if we know where the only tank is, well, why don't we just boost around it? Our medevac still has half HP. There's not much that can really like kill it. It's not like there's blink stalkers or anything. Let's just go get more damage done. And now we know this only tank is back here, so we can actually send these boys up the ramp. Maru, a little bit of a miss rally there. Could send these guys up the ramp, start taking out these guys, and we're just doing forward aggression. And honestly, it doesn't take that much micro because we just rallied our units over here. See, look at our rally point. We just follow it all the way across, just going right to the main base. So these guys are just going to show up and start shooting stuff as soon as we make sure they are on a move. We have our tank. We have another Raven on the way. We are starting our third base. This is also pretty big. This is almost saturated, right? This will be saturated in a second. We know where he's at in his base. We're keeping him contained. We have units here in the back. We have units at the front. We're watching everything. So we're going to be greedy and we're going to take it on the low ground. And yeah, we're probably going to get away with it because there's not much he can counterattack with. He has one tank and probably a second tank on the way. So Oliveira does actually GG out of the game here, which, I mean, is fair. Look at the supply. It's a 21 supply difference for Maru. We're still up insane gathering, except for gas. We're about even on gas because we have all three of the things. If he didn't misrally this, I mean, I'm sure the income will be a lot more different. Our third base is already on the way, and there's no counterattack potential for Oliveira. His third base is built, but, you know, like, with how much aggression we're putting out, he's not going to be able to lift it and go to his third and hold it securely. Back at home, we're still producing siege tanks. We have a starport. We are making 2 more Marines. As soon as this third command center goes down, that's when I would recommend dropping 2 more barracks. Definitely start your... I'd lift this guy, put a reactor on our starport, and then build a barracks on top of this tech lab, build a second barracks, and then start stem. Grab this 4th gas and make sure everything is just saturated, and then keep building SCVs for our third base. You could also switch into a mech play here too. For a mech, you would just grab this 4th gas a little bit earlier, throw down a second factory, start producing, or make another tech lab. Unless he's going pure like Marines, then I guess you go Hellions. But I'm not really a huge tech player. You could also start throwing in some Banshees into this mix. You could start throwing in, you could also lift, build a reactor, start adding Vikings onto it. You're just so far ahead at this point, for Maru anyway. And like I said at the beginning of this video, this usually isn't supposed to kill your opponent. A tank drop is really good aggression. It's really good for starting off a game. It's a very solid, like, fluid opener that gets you a lot of units, that lets aggressive players be aggressive. So, like, right here, Oliveira chooses to go in, which is silly. And you know what? I guarantee the people you're playing against on ladder aren't as good as Oliveira. So I imagine they're going to be making similar mistakes and possibly worse mistakes even. And they're just going to try to bum rush you with all their SCVs. You have a really good kiting potential here. Sure, your tank goes down, but look, they're all lined up. You're killing so many of your SCVs, and in TvT that's just huge, right? You're just getting insanely ahead. And I really like this play too, with picking up and going back, knowing where that one tank is and knowing you can abuse it. But yeah, that is the tank opener. Like I said, build order, notes, like benchmarks, all that stuff is in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this, let me know. If you want to see other matchups, other builds, other games you'd like me to analyze, just let me know in the comment section below. I'm definitely looking for more suggestions. I'm trying to find a good TVP. I think I found 1 or 2, and that should be coming out soon. As for uploads, I'm trying to do these every weekend. I'm trying to get one up on Saturdays and one up on Sundays. If I get, a backlog, maybe I'll start doing them throughout the week. But thanks, everyone. I really appreciate the support. And yeah, subscribe, do all that stuff. And I'll see you all next time. Thanks. Bye.